Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red. This Wednesday morning, this dark, cold, dry Wednesday morning. Matthew chapter 16, verses 23. Jesus, having really gave Peter such an appraisal, having been captured by Peter's capacity to hear the revelation of insight regarding who he is from God, then feels this confidence to be able to speak into their lives about his plans as to how he will redeem the world from its brokenness. And part of that plan is that he has to go to the cross and die. He begins to explain to the disciples these revelational truths that were going to take place. And having told them, Peter in verse 23 responds to Jesus and he says to him, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me, for you are not setting your minds on God's interests, but man's." So, having given him this appraisal of just, "You got it, Peter." Now he's coming on to Peter and he's saying to him, "What are you doing? Get behind me, Satan." Meaning, you're not speaking the insights and the revelations of God, Peter, anymore. You're actually speaking something from the enemy's camp. You're not alongside God and his will and his ways with regards to how he's going to fulfill his plans. You are actually become an obstacle in my way, Peter. He says, get behind me, Satan. And this sense of getting behind Jesus is really saying, come in line, Peter. You've got yourself away. You've listened to something within you that has lured you into a place where you're now, as it were, against me. And look how quickly you can switch from being, as it were, in a place where you're on fire for God. You've just got it. You're in a very positive place. And then in a millisecond, you are, as it were, somewhere else. You are, as it were, working against the will and purpose and plans of God. You know, the enemy is so keen to fill our minds and our hearts with deceptive thoughts, luring us into what we might call a place of fear, where he can control us. Fear is what controls us. And he wants to lure us into a place where we are insecure and uncertain and we don't know the right way to go. Jesus is saying to Peter, this is the only way to go. I have to go to the cross. Otherwise, man can't be redeemed. I have to die, he's saying to Peter. I have to be crucified because somebody's got to pay the price for this sin of the human race. The rebellious nature has to be judged, and I am the means by which it's going to be judged. And that has to happen, Peter. And even though you don't want it to happen, the fact is it's got to happen and it's going to happen. And if you don't come alongside with me in the will and purpose and plans of God, then you're going to be against me, Peter. I want you to walk with me. You know, there's a proverb that says, our ways are not God's ways. His ways are higher than our ways. And sometimes we have to experience difficult things and go on difficult journeys in order to be able to get in line with the will of God. And Peter is learning a very important lesson today, a lesson of recognizing who is it that's speaking to you, who is telling you these things, or as my old mate Nay says, who told you that? And that sense of who we listening to and who are we being lured by. Beware that the enemy is seeking to speak into your life destructive things. Have a great day, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.